Hey guys, are you ready for today's August 12th, 2020, almost 8:40 p.m. Central Time. So Kamala Harris is Biden's VP pick, which I should say his campaign, because there's no way he actually picked her. But beside the point, this video's existence is for two reasons. One, to let you know that I'm going to be adding Kamala Harris's history, policies, legislative background, possibly videos I have of her recorded in committee hearings, because I'm pretty sure I have her in some, including one that had to do with DHS oversight, as well as the Kavanaugh hearings and all kinds of other stuff, because I record a bunch of hearings. If I find some with her in it, I will upload those. But I want to kind of dig deep into this chick. I know quite a bit about Kamala Harris because I've been watching her in the Senate. She's obnoxious, absolutely obnoxious. Just like, and the other reason this is being done is my opinion, because everybody's like, hey, what do you think of Kamala Harris? And I'll tell you. But, for example, Senator Kennedy today said that Kamala Harris is very liberal. She is the AOC with brains without the bartending experience. Okay? Similar to that. And I thought that was pretty funny. But he's right. He's right. Kamala Harris is very, very liberal. So she's far from a moderate. Her policies show that. Her voting record shows that. Everything about Kamala Harris, any type of thing she was moderate on years ago, perhaps, she is severely liberal on now. So if Biden wanted to go towards the moderate lane and pick someone moderate, he definitely did not pick the right person. Is anybody surprised he picked Kamala Harris? Well, here's the deal. I honestly thought that, and apparently like major, I don't even know if it's major, like 100 black leaders of different organizations wrote Biden a letter a few days ago or something saying, if you don't pick a black woman for president or for VP as your vice president, you know, you're going to lose the black vote, which I think is really insulting to anyone who's black, to think that they are only going to vote for Biden because he picked a woman of color. Okay? Kamala Harris truly isn't even black. She is Jamaican, and she is some sort of Indian Asian or something of that nature. Don't quote me on that, but she's not African American. In fact, her father did an op-ed somewhere a few years ago saying that his family is actually descendants of Jamaican slave owners. So I thought that was kind of funny, considering the whole, atmosphere that we're living in now. So beside the point, right? So he said that. So he picked someone of color. He didn't truly pick someone who was black. So that kind of narrowed down the field. I really thought his pick, because the people that he had listed, like the 11 choices, the ones that weren't women of color, like people like Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, those types of people, the chick from Michigan, Whitmer or something, which would have been a disaster, were other choices he had that obviously got wiped off the list because of that. But I thought he would actually pick Elizabeth Warren because it sure as hell wasn't going to bring him to the moderate lane. Kamala Harris doesn't do that either. So, but Elizabeth Warren massively is a great fundraiser. She has very popular views, not only onto the left, but also like some things like getting rid of certain monopolies that are going on, like big tech, and going after that type of stuff, which I agree with her on. These tech giants have taken over everything. Like everything Disney, I mean, they're not a tech giant, but Disney owns like the entire world lately. They're just picking up all kinds of different franchises. So things like that. She wants to break up these monopolies and all that stuff. So I agree with her on that, but not too many policies do I agree with Elizabeth Warren on. There are like no policies that I have found that I agree with Kamala Harris on. So not only did Elizabeth Warren bring big crowds. She's a huge fundraiser. She was very high in the polls. She lasted longer than Kamala Harris in the presidential race, and so on and so on. So I think he should have actually picked her, and he may have had a better chance of winning. Not saying he won't win, but I don't think he will. But obviously that would have apparently harmed the black community, which again, I think is insulting that they're only going, like, no joke. Kamala Harris is no Barack Obama. Let's just put that out there. Period. End of story. So I think it's really insulting to the black community to think that they're just going to vote for Biden now because he added Kamala Harris to his fucking ticket. So anyway, beside the point, she's not going to she's not going to help any swing states. That's for sure. She comes from California. Okay. She was a AG in California. She is a senator from California. She's all about California. California is not a swing state. They're always going to vote Democrat, for at least the next couple decades. And she's against fracking and stuff. So good luck in all this, like, a lot of swing states. Like, Biden thinks that not only Biden, but his campaign, I should say, Biden is just a hollow person. I mean, it's unbelievable what Biden is doing, meaning he does not belong in this race. He's obviously not all there. I think someone needs to check his, and possibly updated recently, life insurance, because I think Joe Biden is trying to kill him. Because there's nothing positive about Biden, okay? And he's just a hollowed out dude at this point. Gramps needs to go home and hang out with his grandkids. So, anyway, there's just so the swing states, so like Texas, for example, Kamala Harris isn't going to help that. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, all those types of states that have different policies on, fracking and gun rights and all that stuff. Kamala Harris said that she was going to ban assault weapons by executive order. Good luck with that. So there's a lot of different things she's spewed out of her mouth. Like, for example, she wanted to ban and or not even ban, but take down, dismantle, whatever, Trump's Twitter feed. She actually put that in a tweet after she had said it quite a while back, and I had retweeted it. She wanted to get rid of Trump's Twitter account because he has millions of followers and spews out constant lies and misinformation. That is her claim. And so she wants to censor him. Regardless of whether Trump is accurate on his, quote, facts, whether you think Trump is an idiot when he's on Twitter, or anything that comes out of his fingers on Twitter, okay? I don't think it's always wise, some of these tweets that come out of him. But it's really his only way to speak to the public outside of, like, Fox News. Because everybody is truly against him, and it's very, like, media, it's very obvious now. I mean, anyway, beside the point. So to censor Donald Trump on Twitter is not only, First Amendment speech type of situation, it shows that she has no ability to consider other people's viewpoints and debate them. Okay? She's a typical liberal of today. And if she was popular enough, she'd be able to take his tweets. She may be coming up to be popular. But if she was popular enough, she could have taken his tweets and corrected them, whatever you want to call it, retweeted them and correct what he's saying, and tweet it. And so she could be almost his fact checker. But of course, she didn't do that. Nobody does that. They just whine about Donald Trump's Twitter feed. So I thought that was very interesting when she said that, though, because that really shows her personality, how she feels on the First Amendment, and that she's just not debatable with the other side. So anyway, so was it a wise decision? No. anyone on his list a wise decision? No. The thing is if the stuff hadn't gone down in Minnesota that started all this stuff that's going on now, that incident, Amy Klobuchar would have been the best pick for him. Obviously, she has some connection to that issue. So she was scratched off a list immediately after that happened. I mean, she had some flaws in her background too with the black community and all kinds of other stuff. But beside the point, she's a very moderate person, and she was one of the only moderates standing on that stage. So if he wanted to go towards the moderate lane and keep his policies, which, you know, he has adopted Bernie Sanders AOC type platform, if he wanted to have some sort of moderate on his ticket, he could have picked Klobuchar, but she obviously was off that list. So anyone on his list, I didn't check into the chick from Atlanta, but every time I saw her speak, she did seem rather wise, meaning she was articulate, and the things she was saying was reasonable and whatnot. Because of what was happening in Atlanta and stuff, she obviously has certain views. She's a Democrat. But like I said, I hadn't looked into her much, but she was also someone I was like, maybe he should look into her. So he picked someone with name recognition who dropped out of the race early, who had very little support, was known as being fake, and had like 2% popularity, wasn't a great fundraiser, really didn't energize anybody. I mean, there's nothing good about Kamala Harris. Really, there really isn't. Obviously, things will change in the next few weeks because Kamala Harris is a pit bull. She is that way in all the hearings I've ever seen her in. She brings up race a lot. She's a race baiter big time. Regardless, I mean, you could be talking about socks and somehow she'll bring it back to race. It's amazing how she twists things in committee hearings. But she's definitely going to probably be on more interviews than Biden, which I think is horrible. And usually the VP pick is not that big a deal. You know, you're actually you're voting for the person on the top of the ticket, but we all know why she's a big deal. But she'll probably be out there in interviews and stuff, and she is truly mean. You know, they said, you know, Trump's going to be, and any conservative is going to be nailed for saying anything negative about her as being racist, misogyny, all that kind of wonderful stuff. The woman card and the race card is going to be pulled like crazy with her. You know, it's like Hillary Clinton, except add the race card. So, but it's going to be severe because Kamala Harris has a loud mouth. She has very strong opinions. She will be on different networks, interviews like NPR and all those places, and have very strong opinions about the Trump administration. Okay? So, yeah, she'll be out there with her big mouth running it. You know, just expect that to happen. But truly, I mean, she shouldn't matter in this. She shouldn't matter, just like Pence really didn't matter, you know, but they matter to a degree because if something happened to the top of the ticket, they would become them. And that's why Kamala matters. Anyway, this is Are You Ready For It? Take care, guys. Have a great day.